I got a lot of questions when we started really operating differently. And I would have other superintendents say, well, how'd you do that? And I thought that was such an interesting question, because the only thing I could really say was, well, you don't do it overnight.
Your hair is much prettier.
There you go. So,
The employee summit process came together 2 years ago when Dr. Stevenson and I and our school board presidents attended the Labor and Collaborative Management Conference.
I mean, it really is.
On the last day of that conference, the governor came out with pretty substantial funding cuts to public education. And we knew that the magnitude of the cuts we were facing were unlike any other that we'd faced here in Jefferson County. As a result of being at that conference, and I think really being inspired by the stories of other school districts and hearing about their collaboration, I suggested that we do bargaining differently.
Kerrie and I worked hard together to say, we care about kids, we care about teachers. We may not always agree on how to get to the right outcomes, but we know we want the same outcomes.
It's going to be 1, my radius is 3.
We had our moments where we didn't agree on much of anything, but by really getting to know each other, by really realizing that we wanted the same things, and we were willing to put the time and the energy into getting there. I think that's how it started. It took time, took lots of honesty, lots of conversation, and knowing each other as human beings.
It's important to have a common understanding of the issue that's facing you. Whether you're a union leader or a teacher leader or the district superintendent, you've got to come to that common understanding.
Goes black, right? You're not going to see a dog walking down the one, big G from the other, so they're big G.
You really have to think about what matters, and you have to be really clear on what's going to make a difference for children. Decide what makes the biggest difference. Try to preserve those things. Work together and say, how do we sustain the spirit and the commitment and the purpose about kids? And if you can do that, you get through the hard times. It's not easy, but you can get through those hard times.